Now, let's talk about a film that definitely means a lot to me. A film that I have not talked about on this channel as much as I wish I have. A film that has inspired me and made me rewatch it over and over again. A film that stands out from so many others of its kind. The film I'm talking about is none other than Wreck-It Ralph. Wreck-It Ralph is a 2012 animated movie released by Disney themselves and was directed by Rich Moore. And I love it. The movie is about a video game arcade character named Wreck-It Ralph, and he's a villain in his game, and he's a full-on loser, essentially, never getting anything that he wants, always being treated like a hobo who should be stuck in a muddy puddle. And he always feels abandoned and left out, and he's really sympathetic because of that. He goes to another game, which is essentially called game jumping in the arcade, and he essentially gets himself a medal in said game, and tries to prove others wrong, and that he deserves more respect than he gets. And thus, he meets other characters, and more comedy and problems ensue, and the rest of the film carries on from there. I won't go too much into it, just simply because, well, you should see it for yourself. But obviously, you probably have already seen it by now. And I freaking love it. The story is pretty dang straightforward and simple, but I enjoy it so much. The world building and the characters and all that good jazz is so enjoyable to watch. It's not the only one of its kind. It's essentially like Toy Story with the whole characters doing things when you're not seeing style. But at the same time, it's so enjoyable in a fresh new way. And hey, a video game movie that's actually good. Please make Five Nights at Freddy's the movie good, please, Scott and whoever's working on it now, if it's not already canceled. Ugh. But yeah, I love the animation style so much. The shine and the amount of details, the references from all the different characters you could find in the background to various characters you could see in the villain sequence, and so many other fun cameos and mentions and ideas.
I'll bet that's Mario.
Heck, the amount of candy stuff as well is pretty dang enjoyable too. I just enjoy rewatching this movie, and like what some other people have said, such as Rebecca Parham, it's a movie that I can watch a ton of times over and over again and not be bored, I don't think. Like a lot of other movies I love. And of course, the characters themselves are super enjoyable. John C. Reilly's Wreck-It Ralph, who I didn't even know John C. Reilly voiced him. That's cool. He is super likable and enjoyable, and I love his voice performance. I love Alan Tudyk as King Candy and everything. He's super enjoyable to watch. I love Sarah Silverman as Vanellope von Schweetz, and she's super energetic and filled with joy. And the sequence of, well, actually, I probably shouldn't get into it much, but there's a certain sequence and all involving her car, quote unquote, and yeah, it's pretty dang heartbreaking. And all the other characters are super enjoyable too, from minor little cameo characters to Jack McBrayer's Fix It Felix to Jane Lynch's Calhoun. All are super enjoyable and very likable. That's not the only thing that I love about this movie. The music is also great and it fits that video game style. The sound effect usage is impeccable. Every single sound fits so well and it makes every single world feel unique and different. We only see so many, but every world that we visit and everything just stands out from the other, and it's very enjoyable to watch. And the locations themselves are also very interesting. They feel like they could actually be real life video games. Things like the pixelation of various graphics and visual effects is also very appreciated. And the twist at the end is super enjoyable. The movie's intro is also one of my favorite sequences. Also, the Tappers scene and the Lost and Found sequence I really dang like. Heck, one time I even made a little skit out of it, if you recall that. That was a long time ago. The ending is really nice and heartwarming, and I always love the film's message as well. And yeah, as long as you have one friend or family member there to support you, how bad can things really be? You're never alone. I love that. Yeah, everything else about the movie I really dang like. All the various jokes and Easter eggs and cameos and the humor, all that good stuff. It's just so dang good, and Ralph's struggle I can also relate with. I think we all can. There's, of course, Ralph Breaks the Internet, which came out in 2018. I saw it the first time on a Europe trip of mine, if you recall, which I still have to make a big video about someday. And yeah, that was fun. Although later on I discovered how bad it kind of is thanks to a video from Chef Frost that's okay. I'd say it's alright, other than one little moment, I think you know what I mean. And of course, let's not forget to mention Wreck-It Ralph's YTPs, also Ralph Breaks the Internets. And yeah, those are all really dang funny, of course, and very rewatchable. There was even a time when I considered it my favorite movie. This isn't the case now, obviously, but still, it's interesting to note. Also, it's worth mentioning that this is my absolute favorite out of all of Disney's 3D animated films from the 2010s. Nothing else of theirs has really beaten us out yet, and some of those films can be pretty mediocre at times. It's also worth mentioning that there's the great Everything Great About video from Cinema Wins on this movie. You should go check that out as well. Also, it's worth mentioning how I first saw this movie. I remember seeing a screening event at Franklin High School. This was years before I actually went there for high school, which I still am in senior year, of course. And I really love the movie. It's also worth mentioning that I have a fond memory of having my friend Jordan take me over to another classmate's house named Faith. And me, him, her, and a bunch of others, we all stayed over there at their house and watched a movie and went in their pool and everything and had a lot of fun. And that was also many years ago. So yeah, thank you to Rich Moore and all the other great people who worked on this movie, all the voice actors, and also all the great people who have talked about this movie. And I just love rewatching it, and I hope you guys do too. So yeah, happy birthday, Wreck-It Ralph. This movie is awesome. See you guys later.